Property investors love to get passive income. The question is, are they getting any? Passive Income Playbook. Leverage build-to-rent real estate to buy back your time is today's episode with Jim Sheils. And Jim is a successful real estate investor, author, and mentor focused on helping entrepreneurs achieve financial freedom and work-life balance. And as a partner at Southern Impression Homes, he has been instrumental in building rental portfolios in Florida's high-growth markets, specializing in build-to-rent properties with management services. So, tell us, what's the Passive Income Playbook? How can entrepreneurs build a passive income portfolio?
Welcome to Awakened Titans podcast with Lily Patrascu. Mind-blowing conversations with influential business titans sharing how you can manifest abundance, love, joy, success through quantum awakening, quantum manifestation, quantum healing, quantum miracles, exponential business growth, and innovative products and services.
Well, I've always felt that since starting this journey 25 years ago, that real estate was the number one avenue to achieve that goal. And that wasn't just my feeling, it was the statistics that 8 out of 10 millionaires in the US made their money in real estate. And I like that. And real estate had the ability to throw off money on a monthly basis, unlike stocks where you can receive dividends, but a lot of times you're just buying it and holding, and then you'd have to sell in order to actually see income. So I really thought of real estate as the way out of having more of a, I hate to say it, a jail sentence of just having to work my whole life and not do the things I wanted to do with the people I loved and the causes I care about. And real estate was that avenue. And through the 25 years, man, have I changed the type of properties that I buy to get results and the strategies and areas that I invest in to get those results.
Thank you. Tell us about the build-to-rent strategy for property investment, and why is that selected and preferred investment choice for you?
Yeah, well, build to rent came from the term, really, there's something out there that really became popular after the 2008 meltdown. It was called turnkey real estate. There was a lot of great real estate deals out there that people would want to invest in, and they weren't in the area. So they would hire turnkey companies, where companies like mine that would be finding foreclosures here in North Florida, we'd fix them up, we'd get them rented, we'd manage them, and then sell the performing assets to investors who couldn't be there in our backyard to do this. We had people from all over the world, 5 different countries, from the other coast of America, buying with us. And that was a great way to get people started, and it helped create a lot of wealth for my clients and for us. But the older houses just don't play out as well as the television shows tell you they do. And about 10 years ago, we made a huge pivot into new construction. We found new construction to have less headaches, less maintenance and repair, better long-term growth. And also the tenants seem to stay 3 times longer in new construction. So build to rent became what is new construction turnkey real estate. And not only are individual investors achieving in this, but also some of the largest institutions in the world are using build to rent or new construction turnkey to fill some of their biggest investment needs for their larger base.
Thank you. Tell us where these build to rent properties tend to be, and why do those specific areas work best?
Yeah, great question. Our motto, especially for this year, 2025, is we build affordable housing in affordable high growth markets with low interest financing. And that's the combination. So we don't so for Florida example, we're not in Miami, we're not in Tampa, we're not in Orlando. We love those markets, beautiful. I like to visit family and friends there, but the buy-in prices are not affordable. And that puts investors at risk of not only possibly being topped out on values for now, but also negative cash flow. We go to second tier markets where there's still good affordability, and there's also population growth, economic growth. There's something drawing them to the area, and there's a shortage on housing. And I'm talking about simple workforce housing. These are homes priced just below the median value for the area, and also duplexes and quads, all residential real estate that's behind on being built, and we try to fulfill that need for these markets.
Thank you. Can you specify where exactly these properties are? Like, just to get an idea of...
Sure.
Yeah.
Our company, again, we've built thousands of properties now across Florida. We have another 5,000 lots that we're building out. And the markets we focus on are Northeast Florida, which would be Jacksonville and Palm Coast, Central Florida, which include Ocala, Inverness, Citrus Springs, and then also several markets in Southwest Florida that would be in the greater Fort Myers area. So those are our main markets. We're in about a dozen different markets now, and that's where we focus again on our simple recipe of single family homes, duplexes, and quads.
Thank you. Tell us about the rental yield. How does that differ versus other properties and other types of property investments?
Yeah, the rental yields for us, first of all, a lot of people are not able to get rental yields right now because of interest rates. Interest rates are, they've gone up since June of 2022. We're hoping they start to come back down. They've started to a little, but these high spikes of 26 highs in interest rates take away the cash flow. Luckily, we have our own in-house financing where we're locking in our investors with long-term debt as low as 3.75 right now. One of the advantages of working with a new construction company that also has a big balance sheet to buy money. And that's a whole nother conversation where we can provide our own mortgages at rates that aren't published. So that is absolutely key for being able to get the most affordable properties, really.
Thank you. Tell us about occupancy rates.
Occupancy rates right now are very steady in our markets because it's affordable. The affordable housing is filling right now. And again, getting back to your question, it offers the best rental yields. We look to hit about a 6 to 9% cash on cash return year one, and then have a trajectory going up from there. The one thing that I've always considered for rental rates and for occupancy, the longest term occupancy are in these properties priced below the median that are in better areas. I used to buy a lot of fixer-upper homes in tougher areas. These had more surprise maintenance and repairs, more turnover. In fact, on these older houses I used to rehab, and we did thousands of these, we would have done about 13 months was the average time a tenant would stay. Now, lease-up times are staying a little over 3 years with our new construction. So people are staying longer. So that's why, again, I like the new construction more than the old fixer-uppers.
Thank you. I actually stayed in a luxury apartment for 4 years, and I did find that versus like a normal property where you would have more maintenance, in that property I actually had almost nothing to repair for like 4 years. The only thing I had was like just a tiny thing, and that was very, very pleasant as a tenant, and I'm sure as a landlord as well. It was very, it was amazing to not have to get any call outs in the middle of the night about, what went wrong. Tell us about market trends and the impact of that on the build to rent properties that you're currently, that you have in your portfolio.
Yeah, market trends have really been substantial through the last few years, starting 5 years ago with COVID. Obviously, real estate, we weren't sure, was it going to negatively impact it? Was it going to positively impact it? Well, I think we can all say for real estate values in areas like Florida that had, favorable fundamentals that people liked, we enjoyed a lot of population growth. There was a huge demand and a lot of influx of not only people, but also needs for more properties, which was great. One of the things that did change in the pandemic was a lot of builders like ourselves and even the national home builders all had supply chain issues, right? So we had all these orders that we were taking, and not only did the supplies slow down, but also the inflationary effect took hold that we haven't seen in 100 years, where there was a huge jump in supplies. So that was something that slowed things down. And then finally, as we started to come towards the end of the pandemic, a lot of us got our materials. But then at the beginning of this last year, it dumped a lot of inventory on the market all at once. So, the average in our market, let's say if it was about 32 days, went up to about 70 days to fill a property. Now, that was the Q1 of last year. Now we're seeing, though, something interesting, another trend happening, Lily, where all of that COVID inventory that kind of came on the market all at once at the beginning of last year is being worked through. And since rates have jumped so much and people were focusing on this current inventory, we're at an all-time low for permits being issued over the last year and a half. So what we're seeing and estimating by the end of this year, and this will be interesting to note this, that by about Q3, Q4 of this year, We believe, especially in key markets like where we focus in Florida, we're going to have another inventory shortage. It's just statistically impossible not to, because the amount of people that are moving here, and it's not a widget you're building and can build in a day or two. A housing process, to go through approvals and development, you're talking almost 2 years. So we're seeing a big gap that's going to occur, which is exciting for our investors for what they're already holding, because that's normally when there's an upward pressure on price and on rental rates.
Thank you. Tell us about the cost per unit.
Cost per unit is going to vary. Again, we're in 12 markets. We go from a low of $265,000 in our Central Florida markets right up to $985,000 for a quad in a high-end area of Jacksonville.
Thank you. Do you find that what's the benefit, for example, of investing in such a new property, and how does it work exactly? What is the process?
Yeah, great question. Well, everyone's busy. No one has the time, and we have several investors, let's say out of California, where they don't like their landlord laws. Their numbers are completely out of whack. There's no cash flow, and they want to be where we are investing. They can't be here. They can't step away from their business or their practice or their career to build the portfolio, and they can lean on us. We've already researched the markets. We've already built the teams. We've already gotten the insurance. We've already gotten the mortgage companies lined up in our internal financing now to get them where they need to go without them having to start from scratch. Because one thing I've learned, whether you're buying one property or 100, you need all of these team players to make that happen. And any way you look at it, it is trial and error right from the beginning. You don't know until you test each of these members, and we've done that testing for our people. And again, our goal is to get them down to owning a rental portfolio that they only really focus on for 1 to 2 hours a month. And that's the goal. What's great about our build to rent program, our new construction turnkey program, is a lot of people out there, and it put them in some real danger, especially since builders have gone sideways, is they were buying a house where, the builder would agree to build it. They'd buy the lot. They would take out a construction loan and then start. And we've seen a lot of these projects stall, where these poor people are now stuck with a half-built property and they owe money to the bank. It's very sad. We take all that risk off the table for our investors. We build on our own dime, so you just step into a finished home. So you're not buying pre-construction. You're not having to take out a construction loan, which can be tedious and expensive. We build on our dime. We provide exit financing, long-term financing for you. And you can buy now a house and close on it within 60 days, new construction with a tenant already in place. That takes a lot of risks out. Each of our clients, and we have over 1,000 right now, work with our team of property counselors. These are experienced educators, investors that have worked with us for years that will help pinpoint where do you want to go, what type of effect do you want in your portfolio to have for you, and then they back you into our property choices to help build the best plan for you, because what you're looking for might be a little different than another investor, but that's the advantage of investing in 12 and building in 12 markets.
Thank you. Do you also accept off-plan type investments, or is it just once the properties are completed?
Could you clarify a little more of that? I mean,
like, do you take, for example, investors' money before the property is actually built? And then do they put like a deposit to reserve their spot? And then once the property is completed, do you get them to complete on the payment, or how does it work?
We used to do that, and we'll take a deposit. Anytime you're buying a property with us, it's a 10% deposit. Some builders require 20 to 25%. We only require 10%. We have done that before, Lily, but right now, since we're on such a good continual build cycle, people are, wanting to just get the property that's already finished. So that's normally the path that we take.
Wow, that's so interesting. Tell us, what else should entrepreneurs know about the Passive Income Playbook?
Yeah, real estate. The reason I started buying real estate 25 years ago was because I wanted to have a tool to increase my happiness. And my happiness was spending more time with family and friends, having residual income that I could depend on, whether I was working or not, do the things I wanted to do, the causes I cared about. And there's this belief and disbelief that if I own rental property, that it will improve my life. It'll give me an assistant to have more happiness, or take it away. And yeah, wrong investments can take it away. But sometimes people are out there taking advice, on developing passive income, especially through real estate, through people who have never owned real estate before, that have never owned a rental property before. And I just encourage them, whether they listen to us or someone else, make sure that person has actually been in the game, that they've actually owned rental property, that they've actually had achievement through owning rental property. Because I believe still, without having to create a whole full-time business, without having to test new business opportunities. This is the most tested and proven one in history: residential rental real estate in high growth markets that are secure first world areas. This is where you have seen the most wealth created by simple people like you and I. And so don't discount that. And one thing that I've learned with passive income, again, I write about this in my book, The Passive Income Playbook. I own 80% less properties now in numbers, yet my equity and my cash flow is higher than it's ever been. It's not about the number of properties, it's the quality of properties. In fact, I encourage people, you say, oh, I got to get 100 properties. No, you don't. This is about owning less of better quality with less leverage. And if you can develop that and get a strong, smaller portfolio, you can achieve that goal of having that secondary income, that residual income, without a lot of the headaches, without a lot of the time. And I've seen so many of our clients and myself do it.
Thank you. What makes this build-to-rent property empire passive? As in, like, which tasks? Is everything passive, or part of the process is passive?
Well, whenever you own property, you're going to have some involvement. You can minimize the involvement by having the right type of property in the right area with the right financing, the right insurance, and the right management. That's all the pieces that we bring in. Again, our goal is 1 to 2 hours a month. We want you to slate, review your portfolio, talk to your portfolio manager, contact your counselor if you have any questions of market news and updates. But again, that's a pretty fair containment for our people. So it can never be completely passive. You're not putting into a CD where you just receive something from the bank, but also a CD can't normally do what real estate does. And we've shown that in a lot of our case study numbers. So you will have some involvement, but when you go into a real turnkey system, where again, the properties are in better areas of better quality with the financing, the insurance, and then the management included, this is where you can really leverage forward where a lot of the work's been done for you.
Thank you. Am I understanding right in saying that the property manager would handle most issues once the property is purchased, and including like the tenancy, any issues, and then all you would have to worry about is like just to pay your taxes, and you even potentially have a team that can handle that too?
Exactly. And so this is how it works. It's exactly how it works. Most of the time, tenants don't know I own the property. I don't want them to know. I don't want to be involved with my tenants. That's why I've delegated that part out. I learned that the hard way. I've managed a large portfolio of my own by myself or subbing it out. I'm much happier subbing it out. And so that's what your manager is there for. Now you will manage your property manager because you own the property. You can ask clarifying questions. You can give your input if you so choose, but they know how to do it. They know what they're doing and they'll take care of you. So your involvement really is up to you. We have some people who want to be more involved, and that's fair. They talk to their portfolio managers more, want more detail. That's great. We have other people that says, you're the expert, take care of it. Just make sure I'm within these financial parameters and keep me posted, every quarter. And so that's it. So everyone has a different take, but if you want to leverage this and not have to have over involvement, that's exactly how we form this program.
Thank you. What challenges are there for property entrepreneurs who want to build a property empire with a build to rent strategy?
Well, you have to have capital. There's lots of programs out there where we can get you into a house for under 100,000 or no money down. That's just not how we work. We work with, wealthy and ultra wealthy people who are looking to grow even further, and you have to have an $80,000 minimum investment to start with us. And once you have that, we know we can build a successful portfolio. So there is capital commitment. Also, in order to get our in-house financing, you do have to have strong credit and a good income source, showing. But if you have those things, that's where we can really help accelerate your wealth with avoiding a lot of the headaches that other investors do when they're doing it on their own.
Thank you. What tools or apps or routines or habits do you recommend property entrepreneurs to have when managing their passive income empire?
Yeah, I mean, it's starting with that simple rhythm of just reviewing your property management statement every month, and backing up before that. We've again helped people build. We've created hundreds of millionaires now through our program, which we're very proud of. Taking that time to ask questions of the different markets, what you're looking for, going through the performance with the property counselor so you understand exactly how your money is going to be made. Because a lot of people think, oh, it's just cash flow. There are actually 5 different ways you really make money on an investment property, and cash flow is only one of them, and it's not even one of the main ones that I look for. And I go through that in case studies, and so do our counselors. Where has my wealth been created the last 20 plus years? Cash flow's helped, but it's not been the number one, not even close. So we look at the overall picture of the investment, and that's something that you can do with your property counselor, with no obligation. So it's like, take advantage of that. Also, know to get pre-qualified. Getting pre-qualified with a good investor lender, especially one like ours where we waive fee, there's no fee, is going to know where you actually stand. So many people go, I don't think I could qualify. I don't think I can start. And a lot of times they're in a better position to start building a portfolio than they even realize.
Thank you. What are your 10 commandments for building a passive property empire?
And the 10 commandments, off the top of my head, again, I really only have 3. Own less, of better quality. That means that you don't have to have a ton of properties, have better quality properties. And have them in areas where there is growth. Is there population growth, economic growth? Is the affordability index good? And also, are the landlord laws good? This is a huge one, Lily, in the U.S. We are the United States of America. The landlord laws are very different. If you put your money where landlords are not what I consider not treated fairly, you're putting yourself at risk of having some major gaps of getting paid. Now, I don't like to do that, not for myself or my clients. And don't over leverage. A lot of people try to go into too many properties at once. This is a slow progression. A lot of things can happen in 3 to 5 years with some patience and some planting of seeds. Don't over leverage yourself. Grow systematically, and our counselors can help you do that.
Thank you. Tell us about your top 3 successes in terms of build to rent.
Yeah, we have helped. We have over 1,000 investors. We've created hundreds of millionaires through our new construction program. For workforce housing, we house over 10,000 tenants right now in better housing than they would have had, while making great cash flow for our people. We were partially acquired about 2 years ago by Sumitomo Forestry, a 331-year-old company that gives us extra great positions for better supplies, better systems, and we have such a strong balance sheet. We can do this low interest financing. We're one of few builders with 0 bank debt. We don't have any bank debt, which means we're extremely solvent. We can bond big projects, so we're very proud of that. And for me, the way that I've built real estate, I get a lot of time with my family. I'm happily married with 5 children, and I spend a lot of time with them and friends, and I've been able to do that, through our real estate, not only for myself, but our clients as well.
Thank you. What's the one thing that made you so successful?
I believe following a niche, keeping it simple. I remember my original mentor said, property investing should be boring. If you want excitement, go jump out of an airplane or go diving with sharks, whatever you want to do. But it should be a boring process that's predictable, that starts to crank out, and then it slowly starts to grow momentum. And you can only do that if you're really niching and focusing on a strategy and giving it time to season. I think I've been very good at that. People still go, gosh, you've been in this 25 years doing these smaller properties, single families, duplexes. When are you going to apartment buildings and commercial? And I've done some of that, but really I've stayed true to my core. I'm like, gosh, after, thousands of rehabs and thousands of new construction, I'm just getting good at this niche. I'm going to stick here.
Wow. Tell us where entrepreneurs can find you.
Yeah, if you want to go to the jjplaybook.com. This is a site that my wife and I created for our company and our team, talking about success story of our clients, some of our real estate principles. You can get a free download of our USA Today best-selling book. That's a great start, and it'll talk all about our building company, Southern Impression Homes, that again has helped create hundreds of millionaires through our build-to-rent program.
Follow Follow us for more interviews with world's most influential business titans, providing you with the insights to awaken to your full potential so you can get paid to be yourself, find true happiness, and manifest anything you desire.